All living things are made up of cells. They're the building blocks of life, and we ourselves are made up of around 100 billion of them.
Some cells, like the ones in this red onion, for example, can be seen under an ordinary microscope. To find the right layer, you need to cut a few centimetres into the onion. And if you look at one of these inner layers on about 50 times magnification, you can clearly see the cells.
But can we see any of our own cells? Now, I must do this right. Cotton buds. On this cotton bud, I've got some of my cheek cells. I'm going to use some of this blue stain because it helps show up the cells. And then put on the cover slip. There.
And at 1,000 times magnification, you can see the individual cells.
Most cells are smaller than these. The average cell is 1/30th of a millimetre, which means that if this brick is the size of one cell, then this many, 30, can fit into this space.
So a diagram of an animal cell will look like this, and you need to label the cell membrane, which controls the movement of substances into and out of the cell. A jelly-like substance called the cytoplasm is where all the cell's activities are carried out, and the nucleus is the control centre of the cell. Plant cells also have these three structures, but they have others as well.
OK, now we've got the cell here magnified over 13,000 times, and here we can see that this cell is slightly different from an animal cell in that it's got this cell wall on the outside. All the way around the cell, we've got the cell wall.
Now, apart from a plant cell's outer wall, the algae cell is actually very similar to all cells. There's the protective membrane around the cell, the nucleus, which acts like the nerve centre controlling everything that goes on in the cell, and the cytoplasm, where chemicals and food are made.
In common with an animal cell, the plant cell also has a nucleus, cytoplasm and a cell membrane. In addition to these three, the plant cell has a cell wall made up of cellulose, which gives it shape and structure and provides the fibre in our diet. And inside the plant cell is a large vacuole full of sap. Green plant cells in the leaves will also contain chloroplasts. Chloroplasts hold the green pigment used to absorb light for photosynthesis.
Pick a topic, read it through, make sure you understand it. Take cells, for example. Make sure you know the difference between plant and animal cells. Make sure you know the structure of a cell.
The differences between animal and plant cells are that they both have cell membranes, but only plant cells have cell walls and chloroplasts for photosynthesis.
So for plant and animal cells, you need to know that all plant and animal cells have three things in common: a cell membrane, a nucleus, and cytoplasm. But plant cells also have three structures that animal cells don't have: a cell wall, a vacuole, and chloroplasts. For your test, you'll need to be sure of the structures of both plant and animal cells and which parts only appear in plant cells. Don't make the mistake of labelling the cell membrane as the cell wall. Remember, only plant cells have a cell wall. Animal cells never have a cell wall. Why not stop the tape and practice drawing the cells and labelling the key structures? These are exactly the sort of questions you'll be asked in a test paper.